Good morning. Headed through Utah to Colorado, headed to Grand Junction. Just came back from the hotel, stayed at True by Hilton. Nice, issueless stay. That's all I could ask for. Quiet, that's a huge one, because nowadays you don't know if the other people staying at the hotel are going to be considerate or have realization that there's other people staying there besides themselves. Last week I was at a hotel when I was visiting Arizona, and it was like not even 8 a.m. and the housekeeping staff not only tries to open my door to start taking care of the room that I wasn't checked out of yet, I was sleeping, but out in front of the door is banging their cards, slamming the doors at 8 a.m. when they know there's other people sleeping too. It's early. It was early. It was why I was there. I wanted to sleep in. I wanted rest, blah, blah, blah. So again, asking for the obvious, simple stay isn't so easy these days. Again, it comes all down to a lack of self and spatial awareness, and people just doing whatever they do in the moment without assessing how it affects others. So people do with their dogs. They don't see what is in front of them and how every interaction that they're having in the present or towards that being, that other human, that environment where other humans and beings live, it's going to affect them. Now, if you're doing that, you're consciously thinking, or you're affecting people only in a positive way, like, well, I just inadvertently turned shit into gold. Well, you're a special being, and you're an exception to this rule. But we know, living in America and probably other countries, Western countries, that's not happening, right? Got a lot of narcissists running around. They're just people that are just maybe not full-blown narcissists, but in that frame of thinking where they don't know. And even worse, when you bring it out, they act so like, oh, I don't know. Like if I did something not realizing that I affected someone, and they brought it, hey, you're talking too loud, and it's this, oh my gosh, I didn't realize, and I would adjust. It's that simple, right? Unless they were wrong, like you're asking me not to talk in my car or in my, you know what I mean? There's like levels of reason, but there's a certain common understanding of what decency is and how. And again, the bar is lowered, raised, whatever, because people don't give a shit, and I think I'm like the only one most of the time. Like, do you not see this chaos? So, stayed at the hotel, and they had the little breakfast buffet thing there, and I have limited diet, but I'll grab some eggs and a couple bananas I got here for the road. But when you go, it just sensory overload. There's no order to it. Everyone's just kind of cash grabbing for their breakfast stuff. People are overly, and again, you get mad at this one with their kids. They're overly fucking accommodating. Do you want this? Do you want that? It's like, oh, but why? And they start getting into the whole particulars with their 7-year-old at the fucking breakfast bar when there's other people waiting who just got, like, do I want to stand here longer than, right? So anyway, that kind of stuff. Just the lack of order and everyone in their own thing without any, like, hey, let's, like, you go to Asian countries and they're like, oh, we're in this group together, let's work as a system. Way smoother, and I'm sure people have less animosity towards each other. And you're not stressing the shit out of neurodivergent people, and it's not about me. I try to always say, it's not about me. I'm just dealing with the way it is. I'm not going to change it. I have to cope with it. I just don't think it's ideal, and I personally and other people I know don't operate this way. That's all I say in these videos. And also, more importantly, because I'm getting there, how it ties to your dog. How your dog can be overloaded, feeling disconnected from you, not understanding what to do in a situation, and it becomes an overloaded sensory experience, and they can't handle it. And an animal not handling something like that, you get strong, visceral, survival-based reaction mechanisms, fight or flight, avoidance. I mean, that's what flight is, but that's what all this is. It's symptoms of it. So anyway, so I'm there, and then of course that people, the clanking and the smells and the sounds and the chit chatter and the kids, they move so unpredictable, and someone's like, well, which way are you going, kid? And like, again, I'm not trying to be a dick. It's just for someone like me, it's very hard to navigate, and all I'm trying to do is just stay sensory organized and get through it. Minimal, I just keep my head down, I zero in on what I need to do, and I'm out. But all that stuff going on, I mean, I left it and I had to sit in the car and just, I mean, I'm okay now. I went and got a coffee at the drive-thru. By the way, I'm going to show you. These coffees are so free. It's like the size of, I think, a McDonald's large. I don't get McDonald's, but the coffee is such a big, $7. I mean, I guess it's expensive, but look how big. It's a thermos. It's my coffee for the whole ride. So big ups to Utah with it. They're pretty good coffee. I always liked Utah for certain elements of Utah. Certain people, there's other weird things about it, but I like Utah. Anyway, so yeah, so that's, again, I try to draw the parallels of something maybe I go through to help you understand your dog, your child on the spectrum. Or why is your kid acting like so rude when he goes down to the lobby of the hotel to get breakfast? Maybe this is what's happening. He's having a completely different experience, and he's certainly not in that experience of like their head in the clouds. And that's what, again, maybe it's just jealousy that people can get into these situations without any effect on their sensory system, their nerves, their anxiety levels, and they just get through it. And I guess it's just how it is. I guess if I have a few cocktails, I can be like that. Maybe that's what it is. It's like people are naturally a little more drunk, and I just don't have that, and I'm just keyed in all the time, and everything becomes intensified. I know that's what it is, but yeah, so that's that. I left. Again, what I try to do is just don't let people, like your whole thing, and this is what masking is your brain is saying, don't let them see how you're reacting. Don't let them see you coping. Don't let them detect you. Don't let them think you're angry. Because I'm just so stressed, or I'll be like, are you almost done? Like just trying to get a gauge on like if I should just forget about waiting on the line. You're rude, you're this, or this. It's like, I'm going through a literal hellstorm right now inside of me. Please give me that. I'm just asked. That's like Japan. When the train gets delayed, they tell you why it's delayed and the approximation of when the delay is going to be done. Maybe they're all autistic there. Maybe I'm just part Japanese. I don't know. But seriously, this is it really is that. So anyway, that's a big part of masking. You just don't want to have people react to you. You just want to get in and out of the situations as quickly and as painlessly as possible. That's all this is. Gosh, I wish people understood this, and I understood this when I was a young kid. It would have been so much easier for me. And that's why I'm taking time, 51 years old, I'm sharing this. And I told you, some people will see this, and instead of saying like, boy, this guy must really have insight to my dog's behaviors and can really help me with some stuff that no one else can, truth, they're going to be weirded out. I don't know what autism is. Is this guy going to have a meltdown in my house? All that shit. Never have. I might be direct and honest, but you want that in the good trainer, coach, and dog trainer, right? That's just the nature of the job. But yeah, I'm actually calm, peaceful, like seeing the videos. So, but anyway, it's so unfair that I even have to entertain that thought yet once, but I have to entertain it constantly, both to earn a living and just to do simple life tasks. And this is the stuff that people do not understand. People on the spectrum go with and say, oh, you look normal. I don't think someone who's normal could articulate that experience that they go through and are still, it's impossible. That's why you have to give these higher functioning. I don't know if my life is what you call high functioning. I'm existing. And I found one thing I can excel in, dogs. But yeah, this is really difficult for me. And what's hardest or harder is when the people who love you, the people who you try to make relationships with, they don't take the time to understand you. That's why I'm going all the way to Grand Junction, Colorado to go spend time with my friend Chris, because he's taken time to know what I'm about. He knows my deal. He's heard me kind of get intense about something or kind of be all over the map on the. It's like, oh, when you want to talk tomorrow too? No reaction to me. Sees who I am, and we're buddies, and we have a good time. So, but for me, being on the spectrum, I have a city of California and a brother who's a psychologist who lives in that city, 20 miles from me, and I can't make a connection there, even with him. Or he loves me, so he does what he's supposed to obligation-wise, and we have some connection because of our history and our sense of humor. But as soon as I start unmasking, he reacts to me and can't handle me. And him being the person I love most, because he's my brother, it hurts, when I have to feel that, that rejection or that reaction, or the way people just conveniently try to it was a holiday once, they kicked me out of the house instead of him stepping in and being like, no, Brett just said something without a filter you didn't like hearing, but he was honest, and I'll just tell him maybe try to, because it upsets other people, try his best. But to make him feel worse when it was so stressful for him to be at a party, for him to feel accepted when the past year no one was around. Again, these people, it's the lack of empathy and the lack of the dynamics outside of their reactions to things, or just the world they're in their own head, that makes it hard sometimes for us when we just want someone to not kiss our ass, not really even accommodate me. I don't need someone to close down the breakfast buffet and say, hey, that's not my style. But to someone say, hey, that guy must be on the spectrum, give him a nod, or don't touch my shoulder when I'm stressed out, because that's gonna freaking be hard. But just come to me and say, hey, you okay, man? Or when someone reacts or someone I tell people what I'm going through. It's so hard. This big, grown, middle-aged man saying, hey, I have autism. I'm having a hard time right now. Do you know what that comes off as to people? They want to put me in a fucking mental institution. That's why I have to mask. Because I've tried versions of that, and you see what people do in reaction, and you retreat. You tuck your tail between your legs and you go hide, and that's what I kind of do. I isolate myself, and I just spend time in nature with my doggies and with work with the doggies and my clients, who I really appreciate. So that's that. I'll leave it at that. We're almost 11 minutes here. I'll keep saying thank you so much to people who have been subscribing and a couple commenters. And if anyone's interested, you can go on my website, dogtrainingla.com. I do in-person and Zoom problem behavior and puppy training and coaching for dogs and owners. So reach out to me. Thanks again.